One of the great things that's happened with this competition over the last few years is that the live stream has meant that people from all over the world who are unable to get to Perthshire for the competition itself have been able to watch the whole thing live as it happens from Blair Castle. And there was a concern at one time that would mean that fewer people would actually come to the castle because they would just sit at home and watch it, but actually the reverse has happened. And it's been great this year in Pitlochry at the Atholl Palace Hotel to just listen to all the accents from people from all over the world who have come to the castle this year and who are here this morning to watch the competition. We managed to catch up last night with some people from Brazil, from California and from Ontario in Canada who have come over here to watch the competition today. Let's see what they had to say about it. Cristiano, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us. Now, you're a fascinating story because you've come all the way from Brazil to watch this competition tomorrow.
That's right. I am a pipe major of the Brazil Caledonia Pipe Band. We started as the Scottish Link in the late 90s, and then we changed name to Brazil Caledonia.
Why bagpipes in Brazil? What's the connection?
Well, I had a mentor, a Scottish mentor. He was the piper of the British Caledonian Airways Pipe Band, and he brought me here to Scotland, and he indicated to me, where to start learning the pipes. I met him in São Paulo because British Caledonian Airways used to send pipers to São Paulo to promote their flights. So I was very lucky to meet him.
Who was this?
That was in 1982.
Yeah.
I actually met him in 1984, I think, and it's been great to have finally found this musical environment. It's been part of my life for many years now.
So you met him in the early 80s. When did you start learning to play?
Yes, I actually met him because I wanted to play. I found a recording on Scottish pipes in São Paulo, and I don't have a Scottish background.
Right.
But I found this recording in São Paulo, and I wanted to learn the pipes. And my dad and mom were very supportive. I'm very lucky.
And what was it? When you listened to the recording of the pipes, what was it that made a Brazilian think, I need to go and learn this instrument?
Well, these are the things you can never explain. It's a kind of magical thing that happens. You just fall in love for the instrument.
Right. And you're still in love with it?
Oh, absolutely.
And have you managed to kind of coordinate and reconcile a professional life with playing the pipes?
Yes, I'm a lawyer actually.
Ah, okay, right.
It's kind of difficult, but because it really grabs you, and it is an instrument that requires a lot of devotion.
Right. And do you play? Are you involved in solo piping as well as the pipe bands, or do you concentrate on one rather than the other?
Well, I concentrate on the pipe band, but actually I have had to play solos too. And right now we're going to have a solo competition in South America. I'm going to take part of that competition as well. So I'm trying to motivate pipers locally to engage in this competition.
Is this a new thing for South America?
Yes,
a solo competition.
The first South American solo competition that we had was last year in Chile, and now again in November we're going to have a solo competition in Chile, in the same place. So we're all excited about it. It's a growing community, it's a growing thing, piping in South America as a whole, and in Brazil in particular.
So many bands have you got in Brazil then?
Right now we've got a number of civilian and military bands playing the pipes. The military bands are not exactly pipe bands, they mix the pipes with brass instruments. But the civilian bands, 3 of them in São Paulo are actual pipe bands. And there's one in Rio doing a great work with impoverished communities in Rio. And it's a great thing to have them. It's called Brazilian Piper.
Are you involved with them as well?
Yes, we have good connections with them, and we give them all the support that we can, because it's such a great initiative.
Mm. And where does the money come for all these players in, and all the equipment and the instruments and the teaching? How do you fund it all?
You mean the Rio band or the other bands?
For all the bands. I mean, if you talk about taking pipes and you know, trying to teach kids
Yeah.
in impoverished areas, where does the funding come from to do that?
Well, the Rio band, the kids that have been learning, it's an incredible story really. They do all sorts of gigs. You know, they play all sorts of gigs to raise money
Right.
for themselves. Our band, I've been funding the band with my own resources, but we have also been able to raise some funds with, you know, presentations. And the other bands, one of the bands is supported by the St. Andrew Society of São Paulo. So there are a few institutions that, you know, help in the funding of the bands. But funding is a huge problem in Brazil, mainly because we don't have bagpipes in Brazil. They're not available in the market in Brazil. We have to import them all
Right.
from the UK.
Yeah.
So all the instruments have to be imported in any way.
You say you fund with your own resources, so basically you use your own money to help the band.
Yes, I started this many years ago, and it's been I've invested quite an amount of money.
Just because you love it.
Yes, just because I love it, and I wanted to see it growing in Brazil. It's a growing thing actually, and very pleased to say that there have been many more and more pipers, people getting interested in the pipes and drums, and because actually of the recent South American gatherings that we have had. The South American gatherings started in 2004, gathering bands from Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay, and it's been going on once every 2 years.
Right.
And it's been great to keep us together, and you know. It's been really a great experience.
And you have pipers from all over the world coming to not just to the gatherings, but coming over to help to teach to the piping schools and the drumming schools that you have.
Yes, the gatherings have been restricted to South American bands up to now, but we're already discussing, you know, accepting bands from other places in the world, North America, UK, whoever wants to visit South America and take part in our gatherings is welcome.
And presumably, as you get more, you have more gatherings and competitions, interest grows from that, and the whole thing grows organically.
Yes, that's right. That's what we are hoping for.
Fantastic. And what are you looking forward to most tomorrow?
Well, I'm a great fan of Roddy, and so I think tomorrow is going to be a great experience. It's my first time at the Glenfiddich Championships, and I think it's it's really the event for solos, and many people in Brazil will be following this online.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's just to give you an idea, you know, how much interest this generates all over the world. So for me, it's a fantastic experience. I had to be here at least once, and I'm very glad that a friend of mine invited me to come over. Ken Eller, and it's great to be here.
Not many people admit to Ken Eller being a friend. That's quite brave. But you talked there about the kind of global reach that piping has. Why do you think that is now? Why has piping become so much more popular right throughout the world?
Well, you have to give credit to Scotland for this, you know, because this instrument is so fascinating. It makes people think of, you know, Scotland just because of the bagpipes. You know, it's all the package. You know, kilts, bagpipes, whiskey, but the bagpipes, when you actually have the opportunity of hearing a piper playing, it's a huge impact. I mean, you're impacted with the sound, with the sight of the piper. So this generates a lot of interest. And this really grabs you if you have an ear for music. you becomes interested.
Yeah. But there are no other bagpipes that are indigenous to Brazil.
Well, the Portuguese have their own version of the bagpipes, but we think that the first bagpipers in Brazil were Portuguese because of that. But actually, the Portuguese bagpipes were not played in Brazil. There's an interesting theory from a piper, a Galician piper, Carlos Nunes. He said that maybe in Brazil, the place that was to be occupied by the pipers was actually filled by accordion players, because the two instruments somehow relate to each other, and so there is. We could say, the accordion players are doing what the pipers should do in the Brazilian musical scene, in the northeast of the country.
Right, because Carlos spent a bit of time in Brazil.
That's right. That's right.
He recorded an album.
Yes,
in Brazil.
And he investigated the musical environment in Brazil, and that was a very, very that was very smart thinking of him, to relate the two things to each other. And I do think he's right about his remarks about Brazil, and I think we're very fortunate to have this, so to say, this link to piping.
Yeah.
This lost link to piping in Brazil, and this allowed me to years ago to make arrangements of a very famous Brazilian tunes. Make arrangements of these tunes for the pipes.
For the Scottish pipes.
Yes, and right now we have a very nice Brazilian set being played by our band, and it matches perfectly the scale of the bagpipe.
Right. And how does that go down if you play, rather than turning up and playing the Green Hills and the Battles O'er or Scotland the Brave and Healing Laddie, you actually play Brazilian tunes?
Well, Brazilians actually they find it very attractive to see a piper playing the Green Hills of Tyrol, Scotland the Brave, etc. But when we play Brazilian music, well, we drive them mad, So it's a kind of a showstopper.
Sure.
For our band. And it really makes all the difference, and it's very exciting for us because we can play something from our own musical Eden.
Yeah, is that important to you?
Yes, very important. I think in many ways the world is musically connected. You just need to find how to connect this point to that point, and but it's always there. It's just a matter of finding it.
It sounds as if you've spent your non-working life looking for it, and that you have found it.
Definitely, most definitely.
Fantastic. Listen, thank you. That's been really fascinating. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy yourself
My pleasure.
tomorrow. Enjoy
My
yourself.
Thank you.